I'm gonna do let's build a gaming PC. I haven't done this in God knows how long. We're gonna do that. I'm not sure what exactly I want to do. I think it's gonna be Ryzen and Nvidia. I don't really know what I want to do, but the market has gotten really good in the past month. Been bananas. I mean, I was actually on Reddit this morning and I saw a bunch of people buying GPUs from like miners and stuff, which obviously there's issues with that if you want to do that. Sometimes you get a really overused GPU that hasn't been cleaned or just hasn't been taken care of. So some miners are really good, some miners just don't give a crap about their hardware, basically mine the crap out of whatever they have and then try and off sell it, and you know, whoever buys it, they kind of get the shit end of the stick. I'm gonna we're gonna hop onto my computer and I'll show you guys what I'm going to come up with. All right guys, we're on my computer. I have not actually been on my computer as far as like showing my face cam in a long time. It's actually been a long time since I've actually recorded a video on my computer. I'm getting back in the swing of vlogging and all that fun stuff. We're gonna build a computer. So as of today, which is July 8th, 2022, the market is actually really good. You can get a lot of discounts on things. You can buy GPUs from miners, just go on eBay. I mean, there is actually a thing that I saw where somebody bought a 3090 for like 800 something bucks, which is insane. Obviously it's going to be a mining GPU, so you're kind of taking your own risks there, but I think for today, we're gonna build a streaming PC. Let's build a streaming PC. Let's do that. So we're gonna go to CPU. Let's assume you're gonna play some AAA titles and then you want to like record videos and do a couple other things as well. I think going with a Ryzen 5800X is your best bet. It does have a decent power draw on it and it does run fairly hot. Kind of an issue in itself. You just need to make sure you have a good cooler for it, which I'm obviously going to show you guys that we are going to put a good cooler in it. Personally, I would either use like a Noctua NH-D15. I think that would work really well. I've seen people try and put like Hyper 212s on it and it just completely skyrockets when it comes to temperature. So I don't think that's something that you should do. I currently have the X53 from NZXT, which I like and I was kind of drawn towards. Now I probably wouldn't have bought that. I probably would have just gone with like the Dark Rock Pro or something that, you know, I like all black builds, so I don't know, maybe I'm just biased, but definitely going with an AIO in this particular instance is going to be a good idea. I also haven't set a budget for this. I mean, maybe $2,000 might be a good budget, but we're not going to come anywhere close to that. So as far as a cooler, we could go for this Arctic Freezer 360. We just need to make sure we have a case that will fit that. Thinking maybe this 280 mil one will work. A 240 would work fine, but let's go for a 280. So it's the Arctic Liquid Freezer 280 millimeter, and it's a liquid AIO. Motherboard, the thing that's interesting is that a lot of the X570 motherboards have come down a lot in price. I mean, B550 boards have come down as well, but X570 boards have actually come down significantly. Like this MSI B550 Pro VDH Wi-Fi, it's the micro ATX board. So if we want to do a micro ATX build, you know, something that I personally don't like is when, and it doesn't matter, it's just a personal preference. Some people use micro ATX boards in mid-tower cases, which just aesthetically to me doesn't look that appealing. And for me, it's like, if you're gonna do that, just buy an ATX board. You know, you can cut down a little bit on the board because the board isn't really gonna give you any kind of difference in performance. You know, if you're gonna buy a mid-tower, get an ATX board. If you're gonna buy a micro ATX board, buy a micro ATX case. Just personal preference of mine. I tell people that all the time on Reddit, and you know, they can do with it what they will. So anyway, we're gonna go look for a board. I'm thinking maybe $200 max is what I would spend on a board. This is actually a pretty expensive B550 right there. I actually have this board. It looks like it's a little bit more on the expensive side. Then there's this X570 Tomahawk Wi-Fi. Got this one as well. There's a Gigabyte board that tons of people buy. It's actually this one right here. It's actually a really good board, and they actually have the Elite version, so let's pop that in. So right now we're not coming up with any issues. Compatibility thing is just the BIOS version, which should have the most recent BIOS on it, which will support the 5800X. So for memory or RAM, whatever you want to call it, I mean, I don't care about having RGB on my RAM. I just think that, you know, you're sacrificing more money for something that you could spend on something else. That's just a personal preference. Becky likes RGB. That's her personal preference. I don't really care for it. I find it somewhat distracting personally, but that's just a personal preference. So going with something that's 32 gigabytes will actually do us really well. I'll go DDR4, which is all we can use anyways. I thought we could select capacity. Oh yeah, we can. Let's go with 2x16. So if for whatever reason we need to upgrade to 64 gigs of RAM, we have the ability to do that. These skill ripjaws are actually pretty decent. Go with this Corsair Vengeance LPX. So we're currently at $694.96, which is well within our budget. I'll go to storage. Tons of people have different opinions on what they should do for storage. Some people have like really small individual drives, like 500 gigs, and then they have like another 500 gig and then a 1 terabyte hard drive with another 1 terabyte hard drive, and then some kind of, I don't know, to me that doesn't make sense. I would actually just sell those off and get like a 1 terabyte boot drive and a 4 terabyte hard drive, or a 2 terabyte hard drive. I think just, you know, making everything more clean, and just as far as like usability, just not having, you know, super small drives doesn't really make sense to me. One of my good friends has a bunch of 1 terabyte hard drives, and then has some SSDs that I've given him and some other various stuff, and it's just kind of like all over the place storage wise. And so we actually hooked him up and got him a 2 terabyte boot drive, which he puts some games on, and then we got him a 4 terabyte hard drive as well, so he uses that for like media and other various things. So I think that was a really good buy for him. It cleaned up a lot of the cables that he had in his PC, and we fixed everything, made it look a lot cleaner. So, you know, something to note. Also, as far as Gen 4 versus Gen 3, I'm still for Gen 3 if you're just game. If you're going to stream, do a lot of production work, move a lot of files, you need something that, you know, is going to benefit you in the long run as far as speeds go, you could go Gen 4. But I mean, if you just buy a really nice Gen 3 drive, I mean, I do a lot of production work. I, you know, edit a lot of videos, stuff like that, and I don't notice too much of a difference, but I'm also editing off of hard drives because that's where I keep all my video files. It really varies on what you want to do. I think we could go for this 970 Evo Plus. I think that would work really well for us. The 980 Pro and 2 terabytes, it's just really expensive. I mean, $259.99 is just really expensive for 2 terabytes. I mean, I actually have this particular drive, the Western Digital SN550, but I have it in the 2 terabyte model, and I got that for $150. I don't know, it really varies on what you think is worth it and what you don't think is worth it. To me, you know, if I'm gonna buy SSD and purely just put games on it, I don't need a Gen 4 drive. It just doesn't make any rational sense to me. Let's find a boot drive that will work for us. I mean, this Crucial drive, it's pretty decent, $183.90. I believe it's a Gen 3 drive, so it's obviously not going to be as fast as Gen 4, but not a big deal. I want to see how much the Samsung 980 is, just the non-pro version. So $94. I actually have this drive. It's a really, really good drive, and I mean, let's throw this in there. And then we're gonna have something just for like bulk storage. We'll go maybe 4 terabyte. That should be more than enough. $56.50. So, you know, that's why it never makes sense to me why people buy like really small hard drives and maybe cost you what, 20, 25 bucks or something like that, or 40 bucks. I don't actually know, but you know, in the long run, save an extra 20 to 30 more dollars, and you'll just get so much more storage. It just makes so much more sense to me. So we're gonna go here, we're gonna click that. So we got 4 terabytes of hard drive storage and then 1 terabyte of NVMe SSD storage. We're at $855.65. Case, we're gonna do video card at the very end. So case, I always opt to go for the 4000D because I have it and it's a really good case, but I'm not going to go for that one this time. I actually really like the Lee 011 Dynamic and the mini version. Let's go with this one. It's $100, which I feel like is a little bit more expensive for a case, but you know, we have room, you know, to play around with. So we're at $960.63, which is still a really good price point for everything that we have right now. Power supply, so let's actually do video card and then base the power supply off the video card. And video cards actually require a larger power supply. So I'm thinking maybe like a 3080. If we're going to be streaming, I think that having a 3080 would actually benefit us a lot. I mean, they have this EVGA one. I'm not sure where exactly it's 860, what is it, Amazon? It's the 10 gigabyte model though, so I'd probably go for the 12 gigabyte just because you get an extra 2 gigabytes of VRAM, and in the long run I feel like that will benefit you at least to some capacity. Let's see what we got here. They got the MSI Ventus one, $769 from Newegg right now. I mean, it's not going to be the best 3080 that you can buy as far as like power draw and everything like that. It actually has limiters on that. I mean, you could get it if you want, you know, for $100 more you could get this MSI Gaming Z Trio one. It's also only 10 gigabytes. Let's just go with this Ventus one. It's the cheapest one, but I think it's going to help us out in the long run. I hope that all this will fit in here. The only thing that I'm worried about is just as far as clearance goes. This might be a little bit long, but I think you should be able to fit it if you top mount the AIO or you mount it to the side. Right where the SSDs go, where that little like kind of cutout is, I believe you can mount fans there. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so you can remove those and you can mount fans. Be all good with this. Power supply, I mean, I wouldn't put anything less than 850 watts in here. So let's go with this Corsair RM 850 watt power supply. So we came in under our budget. We came in at $1,855.61, which, I mean, you're getting 5800X at 280 mil AIO. We're gonna go with the Gigabyte B550 Aorus Elite motherboard. We got 32 gigabytes of RAM, and then we have the 980 non-pro for $94 and the 4 terabyte Seagate Barracuda compute hard drive, the MSI 3080, the 12 gigabyte model. We have the Lee & 011 Air Mini ATX mid-tower case. The interesting thing about this case as well is, so it's technically a micro ATX case, but it can fit an ATX motherboard, and you don't see that a lot. So I think that's actually something that's pretty interesting. And then we have the 850 watt gold certified Corsair RM power supply, and it's fully modular as well. If you're able to, go for fully modular power supplies. I mean, it just makes so much more sense to do. You're gonna get rid of all those extra cables that you have, and also go for something that's gold rated. I mean, in the long run, you'll be able to keep that longer and you won't have any issues. Is the build, it's for 1855-61. So I think this should definitely be able to stream basically anything that you want to. You can play at 1440p, pretty much any settings that you want to play at, and you could also play at 1080p, and then 4K, probably do low to medium depending on what you really want to push there. But yeah, I'm gonna close out the video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.